Now, I'm still under fair use here, right? Getting back into this Biggie case and Tupac case, right? Like, I need y'all to understand, man, that this murder rap uh story with Poochie and all that other stuff. I need y'all to always remember that those words came from Reggie. Reggie told them Southside killed Biggie in retaliation for Tupac not getting their money. And that whole thing is built around that. Greg Kading is running around here talking about like he solved Tupac murder. I need y'all to remember he was on the Biggie case. Okay? Greg Kading was on the Biggie case. All Greg Kading information come from Reggie. Okay? And I'm going to show you how slick Greg Kading is sitting here playing on people's intelligence. If you don't know this case and you sit down and watch some of these interviews, you would think that this motherfucker worked in Vegas. He's LAPD, former LAPD. He's full of shit. He did not work on the goddamn Tupac murder. Stop listening to this nigga, man. That's not his jurisdiction, Vegas. And I'm going to give you a better example of what I'm talking about. And like I said, I'm still under here on fair use to criticize and comment on this dude. Look at this.
Please, Greg.
So Keefe D's name came up early on in the investigation because we knew that his nephew Orlando Anderson was the primary suspect from the start, and so his name was always associated with the case.
Now he said, now Keefe D name came up early in the case because his nephew was a suspect. In what? In the Biggie case? Nigga, you was not working on Tupac's case, Greg Kading. So why are you saying act like you was investigating Tupac's case? He's full of it. Watch.
But we knew that he wasn't going to come in and just divulge incriminating information or divulge information about his nephew without us compelling a statement. So we put a bunch of effort into getting him into a situation where it would be in his best interest to cooperate. And that happened in 2009, where he sat down with us and admitted to his role in the murder of Tupac Shakur.
And you had built a big drug case against him, didn't you, Greg?
Yeah, we were doing undercover narcotic buys. We were buying kilos of cocaine, gallons of PCP. What our intent was to get enough of a narcotics case against him to where he was facing a life sentence. And it would be that, that situation that he would have to deal with. And it would be that situation that compelled him to cooperate.
Greg, we know that.
Once again, that was to get him to talk about the Biggie case, not the Tupac case. This dude is cat.
Dwayne Keefe D. Davis has called himself a gangster proudly, been somebody who's been very proud of his criminal past. How bad of a gangster is he, would you say? I know you have a lot of experience investigating gang cases. Where does he kind of fall on the scale of really bad criminals to the ones who are not so bad but want to kind of look tough?
Yeah, Keefe D was an older guy within his inner circle of gang members, so he had a little bit of influence just by way of that. But also he was the predominant drug dealer, and so he had money, and with money comes influence. And he didn't have necessarily a violent history, but he did have a pretty solid narcotic history. And within the hierarchy of gangs, oftentimes the people with the money are the ones that kind of call the shots. And so that would have been more him. He's more of a legend in his own mind than the streets give him credit for.
Right. His book title, Compton Street Legend, and all his bragging in the book is what got him in trouble. So these admissions that he made under this immunity agreement were protected at the time, at the outset of the investigation. So law enforcement really couldn't go anywhere with it. But you all knew. You knew of his involvement. You knew of his nephew's involvement. But then now the game changed, didn't it, with him making those admissions in the book publicly that are not covered by immunity at all.
That's correct. And there's a technicality here that probably should be cleared up. We've never offered him any type of immunity. What he had was an understanding that if he sat down with us, anything he told us that was incriminating, we wouldn't use that information against him within the auspices of that law enforcement relationship. But once he left that and began to talk publicly about his role in the murders, then that he was no longer protected from his own self-incrimination. And that is what got him into hot water. That he was.
Nigga, you put out the goddamn audio of him before he wrote a book, said anything, did an interview, anything. You put out Murder Rap, and you put out the audio of him telling the story. You put out the story. You put it out. You did. Nobody would have knew what he said. You did.
Was never offered immunity.
I appreciate you clearing that up, Greg, because I've heard that disseminated. And it was my understanding maybe there was a non-prosecution agreement, which we know, sometimes prosecutors will obtain those. They'll be signed off on. It'll be a formal agreement. So this was informal just to try to crack this case. But then he was out of bounds in his recent book writing. I've got a clip from Lieutenant Jason Johansson with the Las Vegas Police Department when they publicly spoke about the announcement of Keefe D's arrest. He talks about how they knew this information back in 1996. Let's watch.
Members of Death Row Records spotted Orlando Anderson near an elevator bank inside the MGM. At that time, they began to kick and punch him. That's when, within the first few months of the investigation, our detectives knew most of the information I just briefed you on. However, we never had the necessary evidence to bring this case forward and present it for criminal charges. It wasn't until 2018 that this case was reinvigorated as additional information came to light related to this homicide. Specifically, Dwayne Davis's own admissions to his involvement in this homicide investigation that he provided to numerous different media outlets.
Greg, I want to talk to you about the incident that started it all, really, that fight, and also what precipitated the fight too, the stealing of the chain robbery. And so my understanding, the story goes like this. Keefe D and his nephew Orlando Anderson are members of the Southside Crips. They live in Compton. They were in Vegas for the fight weekend, just like Tupac and the Death Row crew were. And at the hotel that night, a man named Trayvon Lane, who ran in Tupac's group, told Tupac and Suge, hey, Orlando Anderson, that's the guy over there who took my Death Row chain earlier at the mall. And Tupac and Suge made it their fight, as we see here in this video. I'm curious what you think of Trayvon Lane, Greg, if he knew what he was doing when he sort of instigated this? Because he's supposed to be Tupac's boy. But it's my understanding, I've seen an interview with Mob James where he says that Trayvon Lane knew what bad guys Orlando Anderson and his crew were, but Tupac had no idea who Orlando Anderson was. Do you think there's any responsibility with Trayvon Lane in all this?
No, not so much as in, any responsibility for Tupac's actions. What he
Is this motherfucker stupid or something? No, he ain't got nothing to do with Tupac ashes. If he said, first of all, the chain story, y'all, is a lie. I'm telling y'all that's a lie. The fucking chain story is a lie. Them niggas was beefing because they used to live in the same hood, and that nigga the nigga changed colors, and they had a fight. The fucking chain just broke off in the scuffle. That shit wasn't about no fucking chain, nigga trying bounty on the chain. All that shit was an alibi for niggas to send Pac over there to go fucking jump on this nigga so they can have an alibi to smoke him and Suge ass. This motherfucker don't know what he's talking about. All right? Remember, he worked on the Biggie case. Dre just joined the gang. All right? Membership gang, Dre in the building.
He did because Trayvon Lane, understands the whole gang world. He's from that world. He sees an enemy amongst them. There was a long history of conflict between these crews. And
once again, Greg Kading, you don't know what you're talking about. That would be a lie. What do you mean there's a long history between these crews? Between Southside and the Mall Pyru? That's a lie. Keefy D just saw Suge the night before. Suge walked over to him at the MGM, gave him a pound. They was cool. Keefy D said him and Suge was cool. Suge used to watch Orlando Anderson play Pop Warner football. They never had a beef. So where's this long history of beef? Show us, Greg Kading. Show us where they had a long history of beef. I know Trey was from Long Beach and turned Pyru. You are 100% right, whoever you are. But this is getting ready to end. Y'all got to come to my YouTube. All right? Peace. Instagram. You go give TikTok some love on the live. Now, once again, you talking about it's been a long. Nigga, you don't know what you talking about, Greg Kading. You don't know what you talking about. And hey, prove to us there's been a long rival between Southside and Death Row or Compton Crips. I mean Pyrus before the Tupac incident. Tell us of 5 incidents between those two that you could say are on going history of beef between these two. Give us 5 incidents, Greg Kading, between Southside Crips and the Mall Pyru before the Tupac shit. We'll wait.
And so all Trayvon did was what anybody would do is say, hey, just, be aware. There's a guy across the lobby there who's one of our adversaries. Tupac took it upon himself to then run across the lobby and sucker punch Orlando Anderson. And so I don't think.
Another lie. This man has no fucking idea what he's talking about. Trayvon ever gave you a statement, Greg Kading, for you to say that? Did Trayvon ever give you a statement for you to say that?
Trayvon intended that to happen at all. He was just simply telling Tupac, hey, I know you don't get all of this, but one of those guys right there, kind of keep your eye on, because our enemies are among us.
How do you just sit up there and make up some shit like that? How did he just sit there and make up some shit like that? And this lady, she don't know shit listening to this man.
I really appreciate your insight on this, Greg, because there's a lot of speculation, a lot of blaming and finger pointing, as you know, from a lot of people, who were in these circles. When it comes to what Tupac knew at the time, we know that he had an affiliation with the mob Piru Bloods, but just an affiliation, not a gang member. But I wonder if that affiliation could have even been a bit problematic. I wonder how much of the gang culture Tupac really experienced and understood. I wonder if he knew what a bad guy this was that he was attacking, if he ever would have gone after him. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was definitely a fatal mistake. I think in Tupac's naivete, he thought that he could get away with this, that it would just be a street fight, so to speak. But he was embracing that gang culture. If you look at the history of what happened to him, he had left New York after being kind of betrayed by friends out there. He was embraced out here with Suge Knight and Death Row Records and the Mob Piru entourage that affiliated with them. So
he left New York. He didn't fucking live in New York, bro. What are you talking about? He left New York because he was betrayed by his friends and went to, yo, shut up, Greg Kading, bro. Like, he's 100 times worse than in these other platforms who swearing they black and knowing what they talking about. Fuck out of here.
He was finding himself this sense of brotherhood, or this kind of atmosphere of loyalty and friendship. And I think that is what spurred him to go and say, hey, I'm down with you guys. I know you've got my back. Let me show you that I've got yours.
Tupac said to be a loyal guy. Everybody who knew him said he was really loyal to the people that he cared about. Greg, you arguably know more about Tupac's case than anybody out there. You were handed all of Russell Poole's files.
Lady, that's blasphemous right there. Greg Kading knows more about the Tupac case than anybody out here. Lady, you don't know who the fuck you talking to right now. Lady, you are tripping. Like, your nose, your forehead, your lip should be busted. You're tripping. You done fell and bumped your goddamn head. He know more than anybody about the Tupac case. You're smoking crack, lady. He's not even from Las Vegas Metro PD. He's from LAPD. He was not working on the Tupac case, lady. He don't know shit.
I read that there were, binders upon binders, like close to 100 binders that he gave you to dig in, and you've been all over this case for years. You've written about it in your book, Murder Rap.
At what point is he going to correct this lady and say, oh, when Russell Poole gave me all his cases and everything, Russell Poole was working on the Biggie case as well. I was working on the Biggie case. At what point is he going to tell this lady that? Or is he going to sit here and act like he really was in a detective or a homicide detective on the goddamn Tupac murder. This dude's he's a fucking clout chaser, bro.
What would you say is the biggest misconception about it?
Well, there's so many conspiracy theories, and they tend to make this a very complicated case. But at the heart of all of this, it comes down to a very simple situation. It's just street actions. It's gang activity, and it's just tit for tat. You do something to us, we're going to retaliate and do something to you. And that's all this really is. It's just an unfortunate situation where a bunch of young people, without a whole lot of respect for human life, took matters into their own hands.
Right. Greg, do you think there would...
Can I give you out a translation to that? A bunch of young niggas acting like animals, killing each other.
Be any utility for prosecutors in bringing in Suge Knight at trial?
None whatsoever. You know, Suge Knight has absolutely no credibility. Law enforcement knows that he's responsible for the murder of Biggie Smalls. He's already...
Whoa, buddy. Whoa. Law enforcement already knows that he's responsible for the murder of Biggie Smalls? If I was Suge, I'll sue the shit out this motherfucker. Where's your proof to that, Greg Kading? Reggie telling you that Poochie got Teresa Swan or Tammy Hawkins to go up there on the visit and they set it up to Poochie with that Impala? Really? Suge ain't got no credibility. The only motherfucker alive living that saw who was in that car? You ain't got no credibility. You still ain't tell her you worked on Biggie case. You ain't work on the Tupac case. Fraud. This nigga said LAPD know Suge killed nigga. Really? He was trial and convicted of that? You got that from Reggie, nigga. After Reggie told you Southside killed Biggie first. Now Suge killed? Yo, bro. Suge shoot the shit out this motherfucker.
life, took matters into their own hands.
Right. Greg, do you think there would be any utility for prosecutors in bringing in Suge Knight at trial?
None whatsoever. You know, Suge Knight has absolutely no credibility. Law enforcement knows that he's responsible for the murder of Biggie Smalls. He's already in prison for another unrelated murder. Every time he opens his mouth, he lies. So there's no credibility with Suge Knight. So therefore, there's no real value in bringing him forward. However, I do say this, that Tupac's case went unprosecuted for 27 years. And if there was one person responsible for that, it's Suge Knight. Suge Knight knew the moment that Tupac got shot, who had shot him. He looked across, he saw Keefe D. They'd known each other since childhood. All he had to do was provide